I think it's a beautiful time of year for introspection. You know, we start to kind of come in a little bit. The weather is shifting just the teeniest of bits. You know, the light is starting to change. We have new years for school for those of you who have children. And it's often a time of reflection, self-reflection, and kind of looking inward. And our yoga practice is so beautifully provides a space for us to do that looking in. And the looking in can certainly be in the heart and in the mind, but don't forget the looking in can be in the body too. You know, the body is the gateway for so much of what we are experiencing. And to take stock, you know, how is the stress of this crazy year affecting your health, your well-being on all levels? We're going to do some twisting practices, not entirely. It's going to be a well-rounded practice today, but we will do a little bit of twisting in there. And one of the things that I think are so good about twisting is that when you revolve, when there's revolutions within you, a turning, it's really the word itself in the Sanskrit for pavrita, which means to revolve. So like Pavrita Trikonasana or whatever pose you're doing, a revolved pose. It is not, the word doesn't just mean, you know, to revolve. It means, what are you turning toward? What are you looking toward? So, you know, your gaze in a twist is just as important as the rest of your body. And so when we move through our practice today and you find your endpoints of range of motion and stay there in your breath, what is your inner gaze looking at? You know, the twists I think are very invigorating for the spine and for the nervous system, but they also can be a way for us to just kind of do that inner searching. Any pose can be. So let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall and close your eyes. Also, what's wonderful about twisting postures is that it's an opportunity for us to be challenged a bit in our breath. You know, when we sit still like this, the breath can easily come. And when we're twisting, we have to focus a little bit more on the way the breath enters and leaves us. It's a little more challenging to breathe deeply when we're twisting our torsos. So I like this because it's a gift to have to look closely and consciously at a rhythm in our body that is not always conscious. So our breathing most of the time is unconscious, and twists are a great way to enliven that consciousness into the breath. So let's start here before any twisting occurs. So where is the breath today in your body? Are you able to have a good posture? Can you feel the roots of your pelvis? Sense of grounding through the lower body so that you can rise upward with ease. And when you find that rooting and rising, the yielding, pay attention to what the lungs do for your posture. Of course, you know, what do the lungs do for your capacity to take in prana and energy and oxygen, but really also, what does the actual structure of your lungs, when they inflate, how does that support your posture? That sense of uprightness. See the buoyancy that happens when you fill your lungs. Allow your shoulder blades to rest upon the lungs. And feel the ebb and flow of your breath. That sense of structural support that comes from inflated lungs, and the sense of flow, movement, relaxation, ease that comes as you deflate your lungs. Try to be global in your capacity to feel every part of your lung move. Can you not rely just on the neck and shoulders? I know a few of you were in class yesterday when we did so much work on the neck and traps. So just see if you can let all that soften. The base of the skull is relaxed and easy. The shoulders are relaxed. Lungs can inflate without you having to lift your bones up and prop upward. Instead, feel the natural tendency of allowing. When we inhale and fill our lungs, our bones, our body allows for the space without having to push and prod and poke and pull. See if you can sense your arm bones, your upper arm bones moving as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Your shoulder blades, accommodating the breath. Your spine, accommodating the breath. Your rib cage, obviously, accommodating the breath. Even your collarbones, even the hyoid bone, that little bone in front of your throat, right under your chin. See if you can even feel the pelvis move as you breathe. Does it feel good to breathe well? What are you gaining here just by watching the breath? Place your palms together at your heart and bow in. Cultivate an intention for yourself. And as you breathe, let's just be so thankful the air is not so good today. It's better than it is on the West Coast, better than it is in other parts of the world. So let's be thankful for our capacity to breathe. All right, and then release the hands and let's come on to our back. Okay. Find yourself lying down. Okay. Well, enjoy this. Maybe it's not been too many hours since you've been horizontal. So just enjoy being on your back for a moment and then stretch. Okay, so maybe your breath wants to be held for a moment. Maybe your muscles want to squeeze. Right side, left side, stretching each side. Feel the invigoration through your spine. All right, and then relax your arms. Bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit. Okay, swaying from side to side. Of course, today your body is just what it is today, not what it was yesterday or tomorrow. How can you make sure that you're caring for, being kind, respecting what your body needs today? All right, let's circle each direction a few times with the knees. Start to feel that sense of kind of traversing across your sacrum a little bit. All right, and then relax and bring your knees into your chest and bring them out and in. Just feeling the hip joints and what kind of range of motion is available there today. All right, and then right knee in, left leg long on the floor. Feel free to wiggle your ankles and your toes. Roll through, see what your calves and shins are feeling like. Feel some compression in your hip and your knee. And then let's change sides. Open that right hip out. Bring your left knee into your chest and start to sway and swivel your ankles again. Feel the extension of your spine. As you start to invite awareness into different parts of your body, see if you can keep stirring the breath. Find a little bit of your attention staying with the breath. All right, and bring the knees into the chest. Pick up your head. Exhale all your air out. Inhale, spread out wide on the floor. Exhale, knees into the chest. Inhale, out you go. One more time, in you go. Feel your lungs inflate. Exhale, feel your lungs deflate. Put your head back down onto the ground. Keep your knees up for a moment. We're going to take your right hand, your right palm, and put it on the top of your right shin below your kneecap. Put your left hand on the bottom of your femur bone right above your kneecap. Don't let your knees move away from their line. So they are in line with each other, hip width apart. We're going to push our knees and our hands into each other. Find the stabilizing forces. And then go ahead and switch sides. Right hand is on the top of the thigh. Left hand's on the top of the shin, or the bottom of the thigh and the top of the shin. Don't let your knees pull apart from each other. Keep them in line with each other. They can be apart in the sense of hip width apart, but don't let them go offline. One more time each side. Switch, so left hand on thigh, right hand on shin, knees stay in line. Make sure you're breathing. Try not to hold your breath through this. Change sides one more time. I'm just setting the pelvis. This is a great way to keep the pelvis kind of neutral. You know, a lot of times when we move through our practice, when we do unilateral things like standing poses, one side's doing one thing, one side's doing another. Let's go ahead and roll over onto our side and come up onto our hands and knees. Our pelvis can often go a little offline when we are in asymmetry. So that's a great way to just set the pelvis into some steadiness. All right, let's start moving through the spine now. Lift the head, lift the tail. Drop the head, drop the tail. Feel the full spine move into a cat-cow. Make sure you're breathing. Who cares where you're breathing? I don't care if you yawn. I don't care if you inhale while you're doing one thing or exhale while you're doing that one thing. Just make sure you're staying present and steady with the breath. Follow its natural impulses. And then after a couple rounds of cat-cow, feel free to move around the body any way you want to move. So you can do some circles with your pelvis. You can sway from side to side. You can maneuver your shoulder blades around, move your neck. See what kind of movement is best for you today. Finding your breathing. All right, and then we're going to, everybody, rock your hips all the way over to the right. Stay grounded through your hands. Just open up that outer hip a little bit, and then come back and swing your hips over to the left. And then come back. On rest in child's pose. Take your knees close or your knees far. Relax your forehead toward the floor. Find out what kind of space you need for your back. So knees close or far. Maybe arms are up overhead, maybe they're down at your sides. Find your breath. Let it travel. Let the buoyancy of your lungs now fill up the back of your body. All right, then let's walk our hands over to the left side of the mat. Close your eyes. Let your forehead drape. See what it feels like to relax your tongue, your jaw, your inner ears, the base of your skull. Take a deep breath into the right ribs. Feel the sense of softness. And then walk your hands over to the right. Feel the left side open up. Find your breath. Melt what you can so your head doesn't have to do a lot of work in this. Start to take the introspective view. Let your eyes close so that you can feel on the inside. And come back to center. Come back up onto all fours. Bring the right arm up in the air. Exhale and slide that shoulder through. Come into some spaciousness in the back of the shoulders. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe into the back body. Notice already in our first twist, can you tell that it's hard to take a deep breath? That we, compress a little bit onto the lungs when we twist. So feel the lungs move against that compression and find that little nice squeeze. It's like squeezing out a rat. Inhale, reach that right arm back up in the air. Place the hand down onto the ground. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale and slide that shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor. Find the ease. Breathe into the back of the body. Notice what's happening in your neck and shoulders. Let them relax. Full inhale. Complete exhale. And then inhale, reach that arm all the way up to the sky. Place the hand down. Curl your toes under and find your way to dog pose. Pedal out your feet. And feel free
to move around a little bit. So you can bounce, sway, swing. You can lift one hip or the other hip. You can knead your feet. Anything that is going to help you wake up the legs, the spine. Feel that sense of integrity through your hands. So hug them on the floor, down and toward each other. Feel the stabilization across your torso. And then let the shoulder blades glide a little bit. Relax your head. Feel your breath traveling into your lungs. Now your diaphragm has a unique position in the body. The exhales get to be very complete when our gravity is helping our diaphragm rebound back up toward the lungs. All right, and then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Bend your knees as much as you want to. Feel free to move around. Okay, you can roll through your shoulders, move your head, anything that feels nice. When you're ready, so just relax here for a minute. Let the neck bobble. When you're ready, when you come into a half lift, expand the rib cage, extend the spine. Femur bones are moving back. Soften the knees. Stay here for a moment. Blocks are nice if you want them underneath your hands. Find the length of your spine. So one of the most important things we do when we're twisting is keep the vertebrae spacious. The discs, plump up the discs. Make them as nourished as possible. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet. Rise up. Reaching the arms to the sky. Find your breath. Reach and extend. Open the heart. Maybe some cactus arms. Maybe not. Just see what your shoulders are doing today. Exhale and round and tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale, rise up, lean back again. One more big open hearted chest opener. And then exhale and round in. Reach the arms to the sky. This time bend your knees and float forward. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Soften the knees. Step your left foot back. Your right foot's going to come forward. So I'm always trying to mirror you. So if you look at me and you say, oh, she's got her left leg forward, I'm just trying to be a mirror so it's easy for you. Let's go ahead and find our breath. Start moving your body. Square the hips, tuck your chin toward your chest, legs straightish, and then bend and lift and open your heart. Just going back and forth between these two ranges of motion, just letting your hips open, letting your hamstrings open, nourishing the body. Letting the muscle fibers be lubricated by breath, by blood flow. And then come into a lunge. Find your breath here. Move your shoulders away from the ears. Take the arms back behind you. Palms are facing down. If you were in class yesterday, we worked a lot with the back side of the rotator cuff. So feel that here. Lift the arms a little higher than the back. Take the tips of the shoulder blades down and toward the spine, extending the crown. Find the breath again and again. And then when you're ready, rise up. Keep your arms back there. Open the heart. Feel your breath in. Feel your breath out. Feel the extension through the back legs. When you're ready, reach the arms up in the air. Extend and lengthen. See what's here. And then exhale. And bring your hands down. Walk your back foot forward. Fold in half. Let your neck relax. Inhale for a halfway lift. Stay here for a moment. Thigh bones back, shin bones forward. The spine is growing. Let your breath deepen. Feel your rib cage open. And then as we're ready, let's go ahead and step your right foot back. Left foot is forward, coming into a lunge. Extending the heart. Finding your breathing. Let's start to move. Square hips, bow in, chin toward chest. Bend your knee, chest comes forward. Just back and forth, opening up the hamstrings on the front leg, opening up the hip flexors on the back leg. Enjoy the movement, the blood flow that's coming, the softening into your tissues, getting everything is lubricated and warmed. And then pause into a lunge when you're ready. Adjust your feet to where is good for your body. Reach the arms back. Triceps are engaged. Arms are a little higher than spine. Feel the shoulder blades. Take the ribs away from the thigh a little bit. Extend the crown.
And then when you're ready, rise up. Keep the arms reaching back, palms are spread, open the shoulders. And when you're ready, lift the arms in the air. Stay in your lunge, extend upward, feel the spaciousness in your spine. Big full breaths in and away. And then exhale and release the hands down toward the ground. Come into a plank. Start to feel the stability. Shoulders away from the ears, engage through your core. Finding the breath. And we're going to put our knees down onto the ground. And we're going to come into a forearm plank. So take your forearms, wrists, and shoulders, line them up with each other. You can always put a block between your hands and turn your palms toward each other. This will help keep your shoulders externally rotated. Go ahead and come back to a forearm plank when you're ready. Try not to let your upper traps do the work here. Slide the shoulder blades down the back, engage through your core. Deep breaths. All right, and then go ahead and lower yourself down all the way to the floor. Come into Sphinx pose so the elbows are maybe a little bit forward of your shoulders. They can be underneath as well. Extending through your spine. Come down and rest. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper your knees left and right. Excuse me. All right, and then we're gonna come over onto our back for a moment. So lie down. Okay, find feet on the floor, knees bent for a moment. Take a deep breath here. We're gonna bring our arms straight out to the sides. We're gonna try to do this pretty gently. We just wanna wake up the obliques. These muscles in the sides of our torso are really important for twisting and for, helping with our breath too. They're a little bit of an adjunct to the transverse abdominis, okay? So bring the arms out to the sides, bring the knees up toward the chest. You can flex your feet a little bit if you want. You can keep your legs active. You can also do this with the block between your thighs if you so choose. Find your breath. As we exhale, we're gonna bring our knees down right, and then inhale and bring them up. Now, depending on your back and your body, you might just go a couple of inches away from your midline and back and going back and forth left and right just a teeny bit. Perhaps if your back is feeling healthy and your body's feeling strong, you might be able to go a little deeper than that. You might even be able to bring your knees to the elbows and back up, and then knees to the opposite elbows. So less is more. Don't get caught up with the full pose is that, so therefore I should do that. Trust your body. So close your eyes for a moment. Feel on the inside and notice, are you stable? Are you able to have that twist, counter twist? So as your knees drop left, can your navel twist right and stabilize both sides? So your obliques are working on both sides of the body, regardless of which side you're turning toward. You have your internal and external obliques, and they share. They're so good at working with each other. So see if you can feel that stability across the torso, making sure you are not going too far. You don't want the work of this to be in your back. You want to keep it in the core. Are you able to breathe? Belly turning pose. This is, it's great. You get to move a lot of things inside. There's always been this thought in yoga like, oh, wring out the internal organs. You're not wringing out your internal organs, but you're certainly bringing a lot of blood flow to your abdominal space. So that's a really good thing. All right, bring your knees back to your chest. Rock a little bit, just find some ease. And then we're gonna come over onto our side and come up to dog pose again. So find your way. Your breath is your guide. It's your best friend. It's right there for you every moment of the way. Find it, feel it, enjoy it. Extend through the spine. All right, let's lift the right leg up in the air. Exhale and bring that foot forward. Come to a lunge again. Rise up. You can bring your arms up in the air if you want, or down at your sides, whichever feels good. Extending the spine, and we're gonna twist toward our bent legs. So twisting right. You can keep your hands on your hips. The action does not have to include the arms. It can include the arms. Stabilize, hug to the midline with your inner thighs. Lift the spine. Use those obliques. Deep breath in, full exhale. Notice how the breath is a little more challenged during a twist. Inhale, lift that arm all the way up to the sky. Open the breath. Turn to the side and come into warrior two. So let's just have some time to open our hips this way. Finding the breath, feel free to move a little bit if you want. Stretch the arms out, gaze out over your fingers. Find the shoulders relaxing down. There's no need to lift the shoulders to the ears. Stabilize through the center body. Take a deep breath in. We're gonna move here a little bit. So stretch and open the side, and then bring your elbow down into Parsvakonasana and reach that arm over. Feel the extension from your crown to your back foot. Feel the spine grow in length. Finding the breath, and here's where we're gonna move a little bit. So going back and forth between a reverse warrior into side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Twice more. Inhale. Reaching the arm up. Let this be about your sides, not a back bend. One more time. And then as you exhale, Parsvakonasana. Take a breath here. Extend the side body. Okay. Come on up. Turn your feet to the long edge. Extend the spine. Dog pose arms if your body's okay with that. You can always put your hands down underneath you if your shoulders don't like the overhead. Soften your knees, deepen your breath. All right, let's turn back toward the short edge of the mat. Come back to dog pose. Inner spiral the thighs, feel the sit bones widen. Deep inhales and exhales. Lift the left leg up in the air. Exhale and bring that foot through. Come to a lunge on this side. Rise up, reaching the arms. Maybe your arms don't come up. Maybe you prefer keeping your hands down. Okay, so find the extension of your spine regardless of what your arms are doing. Find the midline. When you're ready, we're twisting to the side. So that can mean your hands stay on your hips and you twist. That can mean your arms come out and you twist. Breathe. Feel the growth of the spine upward. Feel the stability of your legs. Feel the floor yield into it. Find the midline. Find the breath, taking you deeper. The exhales twist you. The obliques work on the exhales. Try to give yourself a full inhale. Resist that compression. And then come back up, arms to the sky. Exhale and turn and open up to Virabhadrasana 2. So take your time, find your way. Remember you can be very light in this pose where you're not having a lot of deep flexion. It just depends on what's happening in your hip and your knee and your ankle. Stretch your arms out, feel the stable places. Drop the shoulders. Deep breaths. All right, then we're gonna come into a reverse warrior. Try not to turn it into a back bend. Stay in the side of your body. Open up the side ribs. All right, and then we're gonna come down into Parsvakonasana. Find your breath. Extend the spine. Reach the arm. Feel the connection of your heel on the ground, your back heel, all the way to your crown. Maybe soften that knee. Push off your foot to lengthen through the spine. Both shoulders are away from the ears. And then we're going to start to move. Inhale for reverse. Exhale, Parsvakonasana. Inhale. Reach that arm up. Exhale, stretching through the left or the right side. One more time. Stretch through the left side of your ribs. And then exhale, stretch through the right. Straighten up that leg.
Turn back to the front edge of your mat for dog pose. Finding the breath, internally rotate the thighs, femur bones move back, spine is growing. Take advantage to feel the spaciousness of your breath. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Hold steady here. All right, now you can do this on forearms too if you prefer. We're going to turn our torso to the right, navel to the right, and then back to center. Navel to the left, and then back to center. Navel to the right, and back to center. One more time. Navel to the left, back to center. Let's go ahead and put our knees down. Carefully come to the floor. Let's enjoy a nice cobra pose. Open the chest. Take a breath. Exhale and melt back down. Let's repeat that. Stretch through your legs. Engage through your core. Inhale safely. Shoulders are away from the ears. Release. Come back down. Put your hands under your head. Pick up your feet. And just windshield wiper your knees left and right. All right, let's go ahead. Come up onto all fours. Swivel around. Release whatever is happening from the back bend and relax your head. Find your way to dog pose when you're ready. When you come up, and you don't have to, you can stay on all fours too if your shoulders need breaks. When you come up, find that sense of the full expansion of your lungs, the full release of your lungs. Let the diaphragm return easily back up toward the lung fields on the exhales. Enjoy all the space for breath. Let's inhale, lift your right leg up in the air. Exhale and bring your foot forward. Come into a lunge again. Extend through the spine. Let's put our back knee onto the floor this time. Rise up, crescent lunge with our arms anywhere you want them to be. And we're going to come and take however deep of a twist your body is ready for. So I'm going to put my elbow on my knee and cross my other hand to my shoulder, but perhaps your hand is on the floor. Perhaps your hands are together. All right, so you go as deep as your body wants to go. Let the hip flexors of that back leg open and stretch. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Feel the openness of your lungs as best as you're capable of. Stay rooted in the right big toe mound as you find the midline with your inner thighs. Enjoy the inhale. Feel that compression against the twist on the breath in. Find the full twist on the exhale. Use your obliques. And then relax. Bring your hands down onto the ground. Bring your knee back. Cat-cow. Feel the symmetry through your body. Lift up to dog pose when you're ready. Let's lift that left leg high in the air. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring your foot down. Go ahead and place your other knee on the floor. So our left foot is forward, our right knee is on the ground. Inhale, rise up. Decide whether you want the arms to be up in the air or down. See what feels best for you. Extending through the spine. Find your way into whatever twist you're going to do. Try to balance the two sides if you can. Find the midline. Pop up through your spine. So hug your front heel and the back knee toward each other to give some stability so that you can grow through your spine, feel stable in your pelvis. Use the breath. Open the collarbones. Feel the shoulder blades move down and toward each other. And then exhale and release the hands down to the ground. Walk your back foot forward. Come into Uttanasana. Fold a bit. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Bend your knees, rise up, arms extending. And then go ahead and bring your arms down. Let's pause in Tadasana for a moment. Close your eyes. Feel on the inside. Yield. Let the knees soften. Let the diaphragm drop. Feel the pelvic floor drop on your inhale.
Everything rebounds on the exhales. Can you feel as though your lungs are support for your shoulders? Let's bring our arms out to the sides. Once again, if your shoulders are not happy, make a different choice. You can have your palms up or down, whatever feels nice. Feel how your lungs expand to support your shoulders. Can you rest your shoulders upon the full lungs? Can you feel your shoulders drop as the lungs empty? All right, let's release the arms down. Take your feet a little bit wider. Such an open twist, so just swing the arms. Okay. Let the back body feel the twist. Feel the spine opening up, the thoracic spine. Let the pelvis go with you so there's not tension across the pelvis. Are you able to breathe as you're doing this? And then pause for a moment. We're just going to do a little lung work. I really think our lungs could use some work with all the smoke. So I just want you to either take your fists, like the thumb and index finger side of your fist, and pound, or some scoops. Okay, so kind of cupped hands, and just give yourself. If you have people in your life that you're living with, that you have social contact with, do this to each other. Do it on your back. Get to the bottom of your lungs. Breathe deeply. And maybe do the backs or the sides, whatever you can reach. And then take your fists in the back. As much as you can up on the top. And then pause. And it feels so good to have somebody else do that all along your back, across your lungs. So make a point of sharing that with someone today if you can. Feel your lungs get big and open. Feel yourself fully exhale. Yield into the floor. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, chair pose, arms back. Inhale, come up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, heels down. One more time. Up under your tippy toes, heels down, chair pose. Bring your arms up or anywhere you want them to be. Let's stay in chair pose for a moment. If your knees are unstable, try putting a block between your thighs. This can be so helpful if your knee does not like to lunge like this. Find your breath. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Arms do not have to be a part of this. You can just twist your torso, arms on your side. Back up, go to the other side. One more time. Exhale, twist right. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Come on up. Chair pose, weight in the heels. Stand up straight and tall. If you have a block, you can keep it if you want. Fold in half. Find the breath. Let go of the block if you had it. We're going to take our right foot forward, our left foot back. You need blocks for your hands. So your stance is shorter, Parsvottanasana legs. Extend the spine. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Feel long-necked. Internally rotate the thighs. Enjoy the spacious lungs. Hips are square, rooting into that front big toe as you reach the hip back. Climb up. Go ahead and bring the arms to the sky, or actually just your left arm to the sky. Right hand stays on your hip. Open the chest and breathe. Exhale and bring that hand forward. Place the hand onto a block. Maybe you need two blocks. You can stack one block on top of the other. So however you're best suited for this posture, extend the spine. Internally rotate the thighs, widen the sit bones. Front big toe reaches into the floor as the hip reaches back. Keep the spine growing. Twist. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Open across the collarbones. Maybe your arm lifts in the air. maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
See what's working for your body. Breathe your way here. The shoulders stay away from the ears as best as you can.
Across the street.
Find the breath over and over. Notice how the breath is difficult when you're twisting. Okay, and then come back around. Walk your back foot forward. Take your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees and melt. Relax your head. Inhale with the blocks underneath your hands. Come into a halfway lift. Extend the spine. Shins are forward, thighs are back. The spine is growing all the spaciousness for your discs. Imagine when you inhale that you're filling the discs up with air. Okay, lots of space in between your vertebrae. Exhale and melt back down. Let's step our right foot back. Our left foot is forward now. Come on up, finding the breath. Okay. Hands can be, put your blocks where you need them to be. All right, and then we're going to find the right arm lifting, the left hand on your hip. Extend. Remember your stance is shorter. You're not in a big long lunge. Reach the arm forward. Bring your hand down onto the block or blocks. Internally rotate your thighs. Find the width of your sit bones. Feel the extension through your spine. If you tend to pop the hip out to the side, hug that hip back in. And try not to go extreme as you start to twist. So, try to, you can see pictures of people doing this pose with their hand on the outside of the pinky toe side of their foot. And I say, why go into such depth? Feel the extension more than the need for a deep, deep twist. Find your breath and the spaciousness of your body first, and then go where your depth takes you. Internally rotate the thighs, sit bones wide, root into the front big toe, and pull that hip back. Feel the spine keep growing, lots of room in your discs. Shoulders are back, collarbones are broad. Maybe your arm lifts in the air, maybe it doesn't. How is your breath? Can you feel the exhales turning you? Can you feel your inhales reach against the resistance of the twist for a deep, full breath? All right, and then exhale and relax your hands down. Dog pose. Take your feet back, hands forward, extending through the spine here. Deep breaths. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Breathing deeply. Let's go ahead and come all the way down to the floor. Take any back bend of your choice. So anything that feels good in your body, find symmetry across your sacrum. And then exhale and relax. Turn your head, swish your feet. All right, come back. Come onto your back. Okay. Find your breath. Come back to that belly twisting pose that we were doing earlier. Extend the spine here. So have a little nutation of the sacrum. So top of our sacrum is just, you're not lifting it off the floor, but you're lightening its load. The tailbone drops down. So there's a slight curve in your low back. Try not to compress. And I only want you to go the teeniest of bits. So just go a few inches off to the left and a few inches off to the right. Notice as you do this, your low back wants to soften into the floor. As you go further, just notice where your spine naturally needs to go. So let's start to go a little deeper. Maybe your knees make it all the way to your elbows, maybe they do not. Notice if your neck and traps are wanting to do the work for you. Notice if you're not breathing. One more time each side. Typically, I think it's nice to exhale on the way down and inhale on the way up, but you do you, so whatever feels natural. All right, let's go ahead and put our feet onto the ground. Rest here for a moment. Feel the neutral spine. Deep in the belly breath. All right, let's roll over onto our side. Come on up to sit.
And grab a blanket to sit on the edge of. So I think it's good to sit on the long edge of a blanket, just on the tippy edge, so there's just not a lot of a cross width, so you have some room for your feet. So we're gonna drop our feet over and actually just get, so our feet are gonna go off to the right. You're gonna get your left sit bone up on that blanket. The right sit bone is gonna drop down into that little pocket. All right, so the feet are off to the side. We're resting the top ankle, the front of the ankle, into the arch of the bottom foot. Try not to list off to the side like this. Keep that sit bone grounding. Hand behind you to support you. Inhale, lift that arm. Bring your hand to the knee and twist here. Now let's revolve our head. Turn your gaze all the way to the left, even your eyes. Breathe, shoulders down, and then turn your head all the way back. And gaze out over your right knee. Okay, and then come back to center. Come over to the other side. Adjust your feet. Top of the one foot, resting in the arch of the other. Drop that sit bone down. Hand behind you to support you. Lift the arm. Take a twist. Follow your gaze. What are you turning toward? So it's not just about turning away from something. What are you turning toward? Turn your eyes all the way. Stretch the muscles in your eyes. And then turn your gaze all the way back. Chin down a bit, looking down at your left knee. Open your collarbone, shoulder blades down. And then come back around again. Now you can change and put the blanket width-wise underneath your pelvis. We're going to take our left leg straight, right knee's bent. You can always tuck this leg under if you want a little hip stretching here too. So either variation, with your leg tucked under or your bottom leg straight. Cross your left leg, right leg over your left. Bring your forearm into your knee. You can always take this deeper by bringing the elbow to the outer knee, but know if that's really what you want to do. So easy to press bone on bone to make your body twist back past where your spine is really in its happiest place. So be mindful that you're twisting from your exhales. You're twisting with a long spine, with an open chest, with a deep breath, not by just pushing bone on bone and trying to force your body into an extreme position. Start to get used to subtle sensations of the body instead of craving extreme sensations in the body. Extreme sensations often, if you're used to deeply stretching, it can almost be addictive, but try to back away. Just look for the subtle. All right, let's go ahead and come back. Whatever you did on this side, whichever variation, let's do on the other. So if you tucked your foot under, unless of course you have a hip or a knee that can't do that, try to be balanced. If you did straight leg, do straight leg on this side. Wrap your forearm around your knee or put your elbow to the outer knee, whichever is going to serve you best. Try to move from the inside out instead of from the outside in. And what I mean by that is if you take the outer shape and then try to fill it in with the movement and the breath, this will often take us to an unhealthy place, maybe a little too deep. So start slow, breathe your way into the fullness, and then if you can go further and put your elbow to the outer knee, then you can go further. Drop the shoulders. You can turn your gaze. You can turn your gaze back. Which way do you like to have your head? Are you breathing? All right, let's go ahead and come on out of there. Find your breath. Let's come back onto our back. Bridge pose, active or passive, but before we do that, let's just be neutral for a moment. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Let's go ahead and lift the pelvis up, rock onto the tops of the shoulders. Feel your feet. Open the breath. Open the shoulders. You can move your arms into the ground. Be mindful of your neck. Try not to push your neck into the floor. Feel your sacrum. Hug onto it with your muscles. And then relax and lower your pelvis back down. Neutral. Breathe in neutral. Feet on the floor. Rest the spine. We're going to come back to that balancing act that we did in the beginning. So right hand scoops on right shin, left hand scoops on left femur bone, right above and below the knee. Knees stay in line with each other. Push hands and knees into each other. Finding the breath. And then release and let go. Try to not hold your breath. It's so easy to just be like, well, I'll just hold my breath the whole time she tells me to be here. Keep breathing. Notice if you have dominance. Does one pattern feel familiar in the body? And does one pattern feel a little more unfamiliar? Relax, change sides. Like for me, I feel a little more confident in what I'm doing. My body knows the pattern when my right hand is on my shin and my left hand's on my thigh. And then go ahead and switch. When I switch to this side with my right hand on my thigh and my left hand on my shin, my body's just a little less familiar. It's like, okay, what are we doing? Where do you want me to go? There's just a little less familiarity. So just know your patterns. All right, and then relax. Bring your knees wide and back in. Wide and back in. All right, we're going to take our blanket. You're going to put it under your pelvis. Okay, so if you have a bolster, you can use a bolster. I guess if all you have is a block, you could probably do a block too, although it won't be as comfortable. And we're going to put our right thigh over our left thigh and draw the knees toward the chest. Start to stretch the hips a little bit. Feel free to adjust this posture. So you can hold your knees, you can hold your shins, you can even grab onto your feet and pull your feet toward your shoulders. This will change the position of the stretch. Just see what is your body calling for. If you have a little pinch in your right hip, when your right leg is on top, try turning your right foot external. So instead of just letting your foot be floppy, flex your foot, toes toward your knee, and then turn your foot out. And just see if that changes any pinching that you feel in your hip. Unwind the legs, lift them straight up in the air, open your legs out, finding the breath. We'll bring our legs back up, cross left thigh over right thigh, knees in. Okay, and remember you can hold anywhere. You can hold at your knees, you can hold at your shins, you can hold at your feet. And notice the difference between this side and the other side. If you're having any pinching in the root of your left hip, flex your left foot and turn your foot out. And just see if that helps a little bit. Finding the breath, no matter what you're doing. You don't have to do that foot thing unless you're having a pinch in your hip. Breathe deeply. Okay. And then go ahead and unwind. Bring your knees toward your chest and bring them apart and back in. Bring them apart and back in. And one last time, we're just going to lift our legs straight up in the air. You get to decide whether you want your legs straight up or whether you want your legs out. Find your breath. You can even have your knees bent. There's no reason why your legs have to be straight. Your legs could be more toward your face. I would not put them further away than your hips. All right, bring your knees into your chest. Maybe happy baby pose with the bolster or blanket underneath you. See if that feels good. Let your back stretch. And then let that go. And we're going to move the bolster. Maybe you want to keep it so it's underneath your knees for Shavasana. That might feel nice. Or maybe you want to be flat. So whatever you're doing, take your time to find the pose that you want to spend the rest of class in. Allow yourself to melt into the floor. Take advantage of this big spacious breath you've been working with. Feel the abdomen, the belly, all the organs inside that have gotten nourished from a lot of deep breathing, diaphragmatic moving. The compression of your exhales, the compression of your obliques, all the blood flow and massage that's given to your internal organs. So you can't wring your organs like a rag, you're not twisting them, thankfully, but you are massaging them. The breath itself massages the organs. The diaphragm is a beautiful self-massage tool. So let's just enjoy what we've done. Feel the length of your spine, the softness, spaciousness. Let your limbs melt.
Let's start to deepen your breathing again. Enjoy your full lungs. Start to move the body. Any kind of movement that feels nice. You can wiggle the toes and stretch your hands, maybe turning your head from side to side. Start to find your way out of the posture. So maybe a big stretch Arms up over your head and lengthen. Maybe the knees into your chest. Let's come on to your side. Use your arms to help you upright. As you come to a comfortable seat, let's just relax here for a moment. Relax the shoulders. Feel the spine grow. Deep belly breaths. Offer the energy of your practice, sharing. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.